It's some package from China, but is it naughty? Let's find out. Hey, welcome back to the channel. It's awesome that you're tuning in. So in this video we are going to take a close look at the new Powkiddy. Yes people, it's time for a new device. But there are some new things with this handheld that I want to talk about with you and that you really need to know before you even buy this thing. Because sometimes with these handheld there are a lot of things they really like to mess up. But alright, so let's talk about what can we do with it and what is the point if you even want to buy this thing. So this new model comes with a 4.3 inch display. It's an IPS and I will show you a little bit later in the video because this display is pretty damn awesome. You can play games, watch some videos, and listen to some music. But I think a lot of people will just buy them for playing games. So the inside of the box we're going to find all the similar things with all the unboxing I did with these Chinese systems. So what we're going to get is just the toilet paper manual, the basic manual that has not a lot of information. As you can see, basic explanation about how the menu works, but I'm going to show you so you don't need this. And let's grab a little bit in the box. We have in here the, oh man, they're still using the mini USB in 2020. Headphones, just basic, very cheap headphones. And we don't need the box anymore. So to begin with, I really like the two colors they are using with a little bit of an orange. Of course, this is more like a personal taste. The shell itself is something totally different and I can tell you it's quite comfortable. The first improvement that we can find is that the display is a 4.3 inch, but the improvement is not of course the size, it's just the way how they made it. As you can see, it's a very nice display and it's got a very good view angle. Sadly, the first thing I did notice with the menu, what you can see over here, is the very slow, choppy menu that they ripped off from the PS Vita. But it is all in Chinese and it doesn't have the save function. Every time when you change it back to English, when you just turn it off, it goes back to English, and that isn't just a common problem with some of these China handhelds. At the left side we're having an analog stick and we're having here this little D-pad. And I must be honest, I really like it. I really like the curve and it has a very nice short travel and a very nice touch. They can't help themselves, they just need to rip something off. But normally, let's say we call it the A, B and X or Y buttons. Here we're having volume control and the select and start. On the top we're finding on and off switch, the AV out that is pretty horrible, then USB or mini USB for charging and data transfer, and we're having two shoulder buttons. And not to forget, at the bottom we're finding the input for the CF card, if you want to be naughty. Okay, so just begin with something negative, it's just because they messed it up big time. I'm not talking about the shell. The shell, I really love it. It feels quite weight lighted and it feels quite cheap. I think you can even break it if you want to. So that is a little bit of a downside. But what I think is the biggest downside, that we don't have the back button like previous model, like the X16 for example, and they mapped it of the left shoulder button. So when you're going back to the game, yep, we don't have two shoulder buttons, so we can map to the game itself. Alright, so the first thing that we're going to do is go through the setting menu, because I want to put it on English. Yeah, that is something, again, is a little bit of a problem and you need to do it every single time. Alright, so as you can see, with a lot of these cheap handhelds we're getting the same crappy stuff like calculator, recording. If I tell you, don't even try bothering because it's just horrible. Then we're having the little icons with some games. Like with the previous systems, we have the option to quick load, quick save. So if you're making save progress, you can load it up over here. The settings, sadly, we can't use it for, let's say, putting the aspect ratio in original. You can say you want original size, but it is not, let's say, having two black borders. It gives you a very weird, strange way of scaling. As you can see, we're having a very tiny image. And that's a little bit of a problem, in my opinion. So, the scaling option doesn't work that great. So, for the last part, let's talk about the audio. Like previous models, we're having one speaker, so we're having mono sound. It goes quite loud. For a budget system, this is what we can expect. Alright, so I'll show you when you're in the game, pressing the left shoulder button. Now we're going to go back to the menu, you can make the save game. But this is the problem I'm talking about, is that we can't use the left shoulder button for anything else. So they messed it up again. Even after so many handhelds, they still keep doing it. Alright, so the first game we're going to play some Sega Mega Drive. I just wanted to show you how the games are running. It runs like shit. Seriously, they didn't even map all the buttons, so the other problem is still here. And that's such a big bummer. I mean, look at this. The D-pad is super responsive. Kind of keeps throwing me away, but okay, let's try main game. And as you can hear, it goes super loud now. For a little tiny speaker, it goes quite loud, but you can hear that it's struggling sometimes, but the sound effect on NES is not bad. No, no, they got my power up. Got it, beefcake tank. You can still hear that the sound is not 100% spot on. It's not an Albert for a budget device, but okay, let's try Super NES game. A Ditto to Super NES is a mixed bag. A lot of games are running pretty fine, or just good enough to enjoy them. Like example this game. What the hell was the sound effect? Alright, so I was checking out the AV out function for you guys because a lot of people were requesting, but there's something strange and that is something that is not very common. Alright, when you're plugging in the TV out, and I only having this special cable that I have from different devices, but when you're going to the settings menu, you will notice that there is no option for TV out, or I couldn't find it myself. So the first thing I'm going to do is put it in English because now I need it. And you will see with advanced, normally we're having here the TV out function, but there is no TV out function here. So I am assuming that there is no TV out function, but you can just use this for audio with the headphone jack out. So for the TV out, so I want to make a part of this video regarding the TV out, but sadly it doesn't work. I tried numerous cables that goes in here, different versions, different qualities, but at the end, what happens is basically nothing, because I do hear some sounds, but I don't know what it is, but I can't get an image. Alright, so the Powkiddy is a really mixed bag if you ask me. So to begin with, what I really like about it, the D-pad, oh man, it's one of the best D-pads I have ever seen on a cheap China handheld. Then we're having the display, it is also very nice, crisp and clear, I really dig it. The D-pad is something that I was asking for a very long time, and they finally improved it, but the software is still shitty in many ways. The back button problem, the language problem, that it doesn't save the language they need to put. Is that how can you mess it up? It's not a big of a deal with the language, you can just use the little icons to navigate, so that's not a big of an issue. Still using this shitty analog out, just give us HDMI or don't do it at all. And of course the issues with the emulation. The emulation is so poor in many ways. I think the best thing is just the MAME. And the GBA runs decently to enough to enjoy it, but this is what you're going to get with the Powkiddy handheld. It's pretty damn shitty in many ways and it's a really mixed bag. I want to thank you for watching, consider subscribing, and if you have any questions, guys, leave in the comments. I want to thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.